Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal, Mr. Butter, coming back at you again. Today, I want to take a look at an incredibly unique pair of SB Dunk Lows. I think they're really cool looking, and I want to get into them with y'all. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these CHAMELEON SB Dunk Lows. Before this pair dropped, I was actually expecting this to be kind of difficult to get. But luckily for me, I was able to grab these on the sneakers app for retail. I think they were 125 US dollars, maybe 130. I forget the exact price, but somewhere in that price range. The wild thing is, I also entered a raffle on Premiere for these. And at first it looked like I struck out, but then I ended up getting an email a couple days later after the sneakers dropped saying that they had leftover pairs or whatever, and they basically sent me an invoice if I wanted to check out. I asked my buddy if he wanted a pair. The only thing is, for the Premiere pair, you had to pay shipping, which was $15, so then that would have had the retail at $135. Maybe that's what they were on the sneakers app, but anyway, my buddy did want a pair, and they were in his size, so I ended up grabbing those for him as well. But I cannot remember the last time I was able to double up on an SB Dunk Low so easily, especially one that was as unique and interesting as this pair. It's in the tan box, so it is a quick strike. It says Nike SB in gray on the top. The tag reads Nike SB Dunk Low Pro Quick Strike. The colors are oil green, desert moss, and white. As usual, I went with a size 10.5 in this pair. For SB Dunk Lows, I typically always go a half size up if I'm able to, just because if not, then they're tight on my wide feet. And without wasting too much time on that boring box, check these things out. I think these are so freaking cool, and I made a short about these whenever I first received them, and I saw a lot of mixed feelings in the comments section, and I completely get it. I'm not blaming anybody that really isn't feeling these. A lot of times I like really weird, really different, kind of out there designs, and this is definitely very different and very out there. Even though they're kind of crazy looking, in my opinion, seeing these in hand, this is very wearable. Underneath all these green painted overlays on the mug guard, and then going up the eye stays and wrapping around the heel, that's actually a wear-away paint. Hopefully you're able to see on the edges of those overlays, there's a nice bright pink color, and I believe that material is a suede underneath. But as you wear these and as these get scuffed up, it's going to reveal that really nice bright pink color. And I guess that goes along with that CHAMELEON theme as well, along with the fact that we have all these bumps and everything. It's almost like a reptile skin or like a lizard skin on all these overlays. For the swooshes, it's just a nice green suede material, and although that doesn't have the wear-away paint or anything like that, it does still have those cool little bumps on it like we're used to seeing on like lizard skin or whatever reptile it might be. But I think these are so cool. They are so different. Another thing that really surprised me straight out of the box is just this bright white leather for the base of these shoes is very, very nice. It's a really good material. It's got a slightly tumbled effect to it, and it just feels as soft as can be. Definitely gives you a premium feel on these shoes, and I also think they're going to break in very nicely. I understand that they probably are too crazy for a lot of people, but in my mind, I just think that this is such a classic Nike SB. I think this is an instant hit. I think these are so cool and so unique. At the same time, I think they accomplished the goal of making it very wearable. These do have that AS on the back, and that stands for Alexis Sablone. They released these alongside of another pair of shoes, but that was like a Converse shoe. I didn't really like them too much. You had the option of going for a very limited pack of the two shoes together, on the sneakers app, but I think that was limited to like 500 pairs. But if I'm being honest, I really wasn't interested in that at all, because this was the only shoe from the pack I wanted. So I didn't want to blow another $150 on top of the price of these to get that pack when I wasn't interested in the other shoe at all. Before I forget, these did come with some green laces already in the shoe. They're the oval style SB lace, but they also came with a spare white set of oval laces and a spare pink set of oval laces. I've heard a lot of people say they're going straight to those pink laces, but for me, I probably won't use the pink laces until some of that wear away paint starts to fall off and you see more of that pink color from underneath there shining through. Taking a look at the outsole, this is another thing that was kind of unexpected to me. I thought this was just like a darker green or a darker blue color. However, it's actually a little bit transparent. You can't see all the way through it, but it does let some light through, and it is just a really neat darker greenish blue color. But I thought it was solid. I didn't realize it was transparent like that, but I think that's a very nice detail as well. I always like it whenever you can get a little bit of a transparency on the outsole like that. I just think it adds some character to the shoes. It's a standard dunk low tread pattern, very similar to a normal dunk tread pattern, but they did make some slight changes to give you better grip while you're skating. Up here, we do get those stars on the pivot point, and we don't get that on standard dunks. But like I said, this tread pattern is very similar to what we see for dunks overall. At the midfoot, you do see some of that foam peeking through, and it says Nike SB, and that is in that pink color that we see underneath the wear away paint, as well as that spare set of laces that we got. As we come up the side of the shoe, we can see this greenish blue rubber meets a sail midsole, and it looks like we've got some sail stitching in there. Then as we get to the upper, for these overlays like we see on the mudguard, going up the eye stays and then wrapping around the heel, we get this really unique texture. Here in some little spots you can see where some of that wear away paint may have gotten scratched off in shipping, and you can just see the slightest little hint of pink coming through there. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not. If you're skateboarding them, or if you're just wearing them normally, then you're going to start to see the high points of these bumps wear away first, and then I'm guessing down in between those bumps in the low points, you'll probably continue to see that greenish color remaining, and I just think it's going to give these such a cool effect. I haven't seen anybody scratch this off or anything, but maybe I'll look for that whenever I conclude the video. I'm just very interested in seeing how these are going to look, and it makes me want to wear them. It makes me want to throw them on feet so that I can see that pink color start to come through and just watch them kind of morph. On the toe box, we can see that it's rolled over like we're used to seeing on SBs. Then as we go back the shoe, you can see on those edges where it's pink and that edge is exposed. I also like the way they kind of made them wavy and organic looking. I think that's pretty cool looking. It almost reminds me of like army camouflage, but in this instance, I think it's supposed to represent a chameleon, of course, since it does say chameleon on the tongue. And then we also have a chameleon there on the back of the tongue as well. We have that neat pink suede with the wear away paint on the mudguard, going up the eye stays, wrapping around the base of the heel, and then at the back we see that AS, which stands for Alexis Sablone. That's in a rubber, and it kind of reminds me of the color of the rubber that we have on the outsole as well. For the Nike on the heel tab, it looks like it's just pressed in there, and that's a nice green colored suede. And then for our swooshes, it has that cool lumpy texture on there, and it's a green color, and the edges of that are also all wavy like we see on the overlays of this wear away painted material. For the base of the upper, they really gave us a nice leather. I really can't express how much I like this material. It's very soft. It's got really nice ripples in it whenever you press down on it. And I just think it's going to make these shoes more comfortable, but I also think it's just going to make them age very beautifully. But we have those perforations here on the toe box. You can see that white leather on the side panels underneath the swoosh. And then we can also see that white leather up by the collar and on the heel where we get those rows of stitching as well. The tongue is bright white and it feels almost like a mix of canvas and mesh. It's like a heavy mesh material. It's almost got a little bit of a shine to it, but it's just a bright white color. And then we have this nice green for the piping along the border of the tongue. We have a green Nike SB tag, and that also says Chameleon on it. The tongue does feel nice and fat, which I like. For the sock liner, we've got almost like a pea green color, and that feels a little bit like satiny. It's got a little bit of a shine to it. The insole is that pink color like we have underneath the wear-away paint, and it's got some graphics on there. It actually says AS for Alexis Sablone on the left shoe, and on the right shoe it says SB. These being SB Dunk Lows, they do have that nice zoom cushioning underneath of the heel. I think these are a very well done pair of shoes. I love that they were pretty easy to get, and I love the fact that they're not going for a crazy amount on the resale market. The fact I was able to grab 2 pairs for retail and hook a buddy up with a retail pair, that always feels good, and I love that we've gotten back to that stage of the game. Prior to this pair, I think my favorite pair of SB Dunks this year was the Big Money Savings pair, but this is right up there with them. I just love how unique these are, and at the same time, I think they're very wearable. I like getting something that feels different and feels new, and I have never had an SB Dunk that looks anything like this, so I'm very pumped about that. Let me know what you all think about these. Let me know if you would rock these or not. I think there's another SB Dunk Low coming next week. It's the Escargot colorway. I believe those are already sitting online in a handful of places. I think I saw them on CCS. I think those should be easy to get as well if you're interested in them. A lot of people refer to them as the Shrek colorway, and they definitely do have that same color palette. That'll probably be a game time decision whether or not I go for those Escargot SB Dunk Lows. But let me know if you'll be going for them. Let me know what you think about these. I don't care what anybody says. I think these are absolutely wonderful. But I appreciate you all watching tremendously. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I will catch y'all on the next one. I'm out.